My name is Paula Laverne,
Okay.
and this is my son Noah Laverne, and Noah's 6 years old now.
6 years old.
When Noah was 2.5 years old, he was diagnosed with apraxia of speech, of which I had taken Noah to Rhode Island Hospital, and the head speech therapist there had gone through a series of tests and came up with the fact that Noah has, I believe he said severe apraxia of speech.
Okay.
So at that point, my pediatrician didn't know what to do. Noah's cousin Jordan had a speech delay. So we saw how well she progressed that we decided to give Dr. Pedro a call. And the minute Noah walked in the door and how Noah was speaking at almost 3 years old, Dr. Pedro immediately said, "This is something that I can absolutely cure for you." The doctor at Rhode Island Hospital had told us that based on his severity of the apraxia of speech that there might be a time that he might not outgrow this. It could go into his adulthood. We're just not sure about how bad his apraxia of speech is. But Dr. Pedro assured us that, no, this is something that, it's a very simple problem that he has, and this is something that I can absolutely fix for you. For Dr. Pedro to tell us that, he said, whatever you want to do, we're all yours. Whatever we need to do for treatments, we'll definitely be here. Right when he turned 2 years old, I noticed that he wasn't speaking his normal sounds that a 2-year-old would make, because Noah has a brother who's 2 years older than himself, and he was speaking very well at 2. And by 2.5 years old, Noah's older brother was saying delicious, where Noah was saying, Noah was very much into Thomas the Train, all the trains, and I had, his speaking pattern was, for Thomas he would say ta, James was ja. So he was getting the first syllable of all these trains. And to try to put them together, he would say, "I like to play with ta, je, gore." And that's exactly what this homework that Dr. Pedro, once he did analyze Noah, this is what this homework is going to do. It's going to allow all of his speech patterns to come together, and the connection is going to be there. And he was so right. It's his coordination as well, which I didn't notice that until Dr. Pedro had asked me, how is his coordination, how is he doing running? And I did notice when he was younger, he'd trip over his foot every now and then, bump into things, and he was right as far as his coordination goes. It wasn't, his coordination wasn't there. Noah was just a little over 2.5 years old, and I would say within 2 to 3 months, because it took a little bit of paperwork and to get appointments with Rhode Island Hospital, and once their diagnosis came through, and I was trying to set up appointments with early intervention, because they only take children up to age 3, and then you're integrated in the school system at age 3. I then, in between that time, then got Dr. Pedro involved, about 2 months before Noah turned 3 years old. Yeah, and at that point, when we did start with the program with Dr. Pedro, Dr. Pedro had showed me what some of the techniques that he was using, and I thought it was very different. But I assured Dr. Pedro, if this is what it's going to take, I will absolutely follow. Okay, the duration for Noah, once we came for the initial appointment, we signed up for I believe it was the 12-week program that we had with Dr. Pedro. And when Noah started the program, it was for 3 days a week. We came for the program, and I believe it was for an hour, because we're going back 3 years ago now, so I'm trying to remember, but it was 3 days a week that we would come, and Noah would do his homework here, and then I would do homework with Noah 3 days a week at home. But I came back after Dr. Pedro was asking me after a couple weeks if I've noticed, because I would write out homework paperwork just to show what was improved and what wasn't. And for the first 2 weeks, I didn't really see any improvement, but all of a sudden after 2 weeks, boom, his coordination was just better. His and Dr. Pedro showed me this. I wouldn't have noticed this maybe for another month, but Dr. Pedro did a few exercises with him and said, "No, Mrs. Laverne, did you notice that Noah, could he do this before?" I said, "No, he couldn't do this before." And just different things really clicked together right at 2 weeks, time of this program. And it just kept getting better. It just snowballed in the right direction. Yeah. I just have to say, the whole program just really made him more aware and alert as to what was going on in his surroundings, his speech, his eye coordination, everything just came together. Yeah, it's such a quick time frame. Absolutely come here and see Dr. Pedro. In 2 weeks, it was like my little boy was just a totally different boy. It was almost like he was walking around in the clouds, I guess, before he came here. And then he was just so much alert, so much more awake. Everything just worked together. It just, yeah, I would highly recommend this program.
It just seemed really simple to me that it was just really simple, just too simple to change anything and to work. It really was. I had been on the website and checked things out. I had a family member that already came to see Dr. Pedro. But as time went on, Noah started to focus more, and he really started to put words. More words were coming out every day. His motor skills are really getting incredible. And my mom and dad live with us, so they noticed it too.
They noticed it too.
More and more and more, my whole family. And he just kept getting better and better.
Fantastic.
It was awesome. It was awesome. It's like now he never had a problem. I would tell any parent that's skeptical, just first of all, to do the research, go on the websites, and that it's incredible. Dr. Pedro cares about the children. He doesn't care about the hype. He just cares about the kids. Noah came here. At first, I was a little reluctant, thinking that Noah really wouldn't. He was kind of a really shy kid, but him and Dr. Pedro just kind of hit it off, and he treats the kids like they want to come here. And he was never an issue getting him to come to Dr. Pedro's ever. And like I said, if any parents are reluctant to really think twice, because it was worth every penny. It just, like I said, Dr. Pedro does it for the kids. He loves the kids.
He's got 4 young children.
That's right. He's got 4 children himself, and he's a great guy. He's a great guy.